Good morning, my dear students. We have revised the chapter Nutrition in Plants in previous classes, okay? And today I am going to discuss the revision of exercise question answer of this chapter, okay students? I know you have such notes of this exercise question answer, and again I am going to telling all the question answer, okay? So try to memorize and try to understand all the question, okay students? And also I will ask you some question, please write in your chat box. This is my request to you when I will ask you, okay students? Okay. So let's start first. Why do organisms take food? Why do organisms take food? What is the necessity of taking food in animals? We know that all organisms require energy for to carry out their life process, different life process you know, okay, digestion, respiration, circulation, excretion, reproduction, okay, these all are the life processes, okay, and plants prepare their own food you know and acquire nutrients from the abiotic factors such as water, sunlight, then carbon dioxide, okay, and also on the other hand animals need to get food from either plants or other animals to obtain their nutrients. So hence animal needs to take food to acquire nutrients and energy, okay. Yes, very good Shansari. The main function of food is to help in growth, and food provides energy for movement such as running, walking or raising our arm, okay. Food is also needed for replacement and repairing damaged parts of the body. Yes, mainly they give us nutrients whatever is required by our body and gives us energy, okay, and also gives our body resistance to fight against disease and protect from any infection, okay. Very good Shavik, okay. So you have already answered this question, no? Now the next question is distinguish between a parasite and saprophyte, okay. You can easily distinguish between a parasite and saprophyte. Parasite you know that the organisms that live on or in a host to get its food at the expenses of its host, they are called as parasites, such as Cuscuta or Amarbill that is already in your book. You can see the picture from your book, and also another worm are also under the example of parasite, okay. And saprophytes you know that they acquire nutrients from the dead and decaying matter, okay. Non-living organic matter, they are derive their nutrition from non-living organic matter or dead or decaying matter, understood? So they are called saprophytes, just like fungi you know, okay. So here I have explained the distinguish between parasite and saprophytes, understood students? Now the next question is, how would you test the presence of starch in leaves? This is a very important question. Just try to concentrate in your class. I will describe it in a good way, okay. So students, here the experiment that how do you taste the presence of starch in leaves, okay. First we have to take 2 leaves, okay. First we have to take 2 leaves, then what we have to take? 2 potted plants of the same kind and keep it in the dark for 72 hours and another for sunlight, okay. And perform the iodine test. We have to perform the iodine test with the leaves, okay, of both of the plant as given below. Understood, students? And now leave the pot which was earlier kept in the dark. Now which was earlier kept in the dark. Now we have to make it undisturbed for 3 to 4 days at least and perform the iodine test again on its leaves. Understood? So iodine test, we have to put iodine solution on the leaf. So what will be the observation? There will be blue-black color will be observed on the leaves of the plant kept in sunlight, as well as the blue-black as well as the leaf that is kept in the dark room. So when we are going to apply the iodine solution on the leaves of the plants that kept in sunlight, if there is change in blue-black color, then that indicates that there is presence of starch. And after that we must observe that the plants which was kept in sunlight, that will show blue-black color, which indicates that there is presence of starch. Understood? And blue-black color will not be observed on the leaves of plant kept in the dark room. Okay, so this indicates that there is absence of starch. Okay, students, you understood? Yathartha, Sobik, then Shupriyo. Okay, you have understood, na? So the color, blue-black color always indicates there is presence of starch in the leaves. Okay, now the next question, that is, give a brief description of the process of synthesis of food in green plants. You know the process by which they can make their own food, that is known as photosynthesis, and green plants use a process called photosynthesis to prepare their own food. Okay, and this process can be just mentioned in some points. First, water is taken from roots of the plants and it is transported to the leaves of the plant. Okay, then carbon dioxide from the air entered the leaves through the pores, through the tiny pores called stomata. Okay, this diffuses the cell and containing chlorophyll. Okay, then water molecules is broken down into hydrogen and oxygen with the help of sunlight. In the presence of sunlight, that water molecules is broken down into hydrogen and oxygen with the help of sunlight, or in the presence of sunlight. Understood? Okay, okay. So next, hydrogen combines with oxygen and hydrogen, that to form carbohydrate. Carbohydrate in the form of which food? Glucose. Also, the most simplest carbohydrate is, can you answer, students? What is the most simplest carbohydrate? Very good, Astha. Glucose. And what about starch? What is the basic difference between glucose and starch? What is the basic difference between glucose and starch? Can anyone say? I have already told you in previous classes, no? Yes, starch is a molecule that is made up of one or more than two sugar molecule. Okay, so starch is complex carbohydrate, whether glucose is the simplest carbohydrate. Yes, very good. Taufik, Sovik, Sanchari, very good. Okay. Now photosynthesis is represented by the following equation. You can easily derive such equation, that carbon dioxide plus water in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, that will make glucose plus oxygen. Okay. So this was the total photosynthetic reaction that is taking place. Okay. Next question. Now show with the help of sketch that plants are ultimate source of energy. Can anyone do this? Can anyone? How plants are ultimate source of food? As we know, plants plants have ability to make their own food. Then from plants, some primary consumers are also deriving foods from them. Okay. Then also some other things like secondary consumer, primary consumer including some cows. Okay. Then secondary consumer who eats cows like lions. Okay. Then there are some other consumers who derive food from the dead body of lions. Okay. So by this way they are interdependent on each other, and plants are the ultimate source of food. By this picture we can say. Okay. Now first 6-number question, fill in the blanks. Give me first answer. Okay. So green plants are called as since they synthesize their own food. What will be the answer? Green plants are called as since they synthesize their own food. Yes, very good, Astha. Autotrophs, Akash. Yes. The answer will be autotrophs. Green plants are called autotrophs. Swanchari, you are also right. Since they synthesize their own food. Okay. Next question is, the food synthesized by the plant is stored as dash. The answer will be starch. Very good. The answer will be starch. C-number question. In photosynthesis, solar energy is absorbed by the pigment called dash. Yes, the answer will be chlorophyll. Very good. So the next question, during photosynthesis, plants take in dash and release dash gas. I hope you can answer this, everyone. Plants take in carbon dioxide and release oxygen gas. Okay. Now name the following. These are one-word answer. And name the following. A parasitic plants with yellow slender branch stem. What is the name? What is the name of that? Yes, Tawfiq, very good. Cuscuta. Yes, Astha, Shanchari, you all are right. So the parasitic plant that with yellow slender branch stem. Okay. Next, a plant that is partially autotrophic, that is not totally autotrophic. Yes. Name of that plant is pitcher plant. Pitcher plant. Very good. Pitcher plant. Yes. They are partially autotrophic. Next, the pores through which leaves exchange gases. Leaves exchange gases through the pores called stomata. Very good, Astha. Next question. Tick the correct answer that Cuscuta is an example of autotrophs, parasitic or saprotroph or host. What will be the answer? Answer will be parasite. Cuscuta is an example of parasite. Next, the plant which traps and feeds on insect is known as Cuscuta, China rose, pitcher plant or rose. Answer will be pitcher plant. Okay. And you can do this, match the items given in column 1 and column 2. I hope you can do this. Okay. Yes, A will be, chlorophyll will be leaf. Then nitrogen will be matched with rhizobium. Nitrogen is fixed by some soil bacteria called rhizobium, you know. Next, Cuscuta, this is a parasite plant. Next, animals are heterotrophs, okay. And insects, they are trapped by pitcher plant, okay. Okay. Only true, false are remaining, no? Okay. 10-1. Sorry. Mark the statement if it is true or false. First one, carbon dioxide is released during photosynthesis. That is true or false? That is false. Okay. Next, plants which synthesize their food are called saprotrophs. That is also false. Now the product of photosynthesis is not a protein. This is true. That is a carbohydrate. You know, that is glucose. Yes. So this will be true. Now solar energy is converted into chemical energy by photosynthesis. Yes. Solar energy is converted into chemical energy in the form of food, that is carbohydrate, that is in chemical form. That is why we can say that solar energy is converted into chemical energy. Isn't it, students? Okay. Now, very good, Sanchari. Okay. Now the next question, choose the correct option from the following. Which part of the plant take in carbon dioxide from the air for the photosynthesis? Root hairs, stomata, leaf, veins, petals. The answer will be stomata. Okay. So carbon dioxide diffused in through the tiny pores called stomata. Okay. Next question. Choose the correct option from the following. That is, plants take carbon dioxide from the atmosphere mainly through roots, stems, flowers, leaves. The answer will be leaves. And in the microscopic structure of leaves, we can see the tiny pores called stomata. Isn't it? Okay. Now the next question is the last question, that why do farmers grow many fruits and vegetable crops inside large greenhouse, and what are the advantages to the farmer? Here the solution, the answer will be fruits and vegetable crops are grown in a large greenhouse because it protects crops from external climatic condition and to provide suitable temperature for their growth and development. Understood? Then advantages for farmer while growing fruits and vegetable crops inside the greenhouse are, it protects crops from the harsh climatic condition or the bad climatic condition. Okay. And also it protects the crops from different diseases. Also it protects crops from the wind and rodents. Okay. So these are such advantages. Okay. So I hope you understood, and if you have any problem you can ask me here in the chat box. I will answer you. Okay. Okay. So here I am finishing this class. In the next class we will revise the next topic in your term 1, and that is respiration in organisms. Okay, students. So that's all. Thank you, students. Have a nice day.